Welcome, everybody. College football week 3 is in the books, and college football week 4 is here. I'm Joe with the Game House, and today we're going to take a look at college football week 4 news and notes. Okay, the college football week 4 is here. The much anticipated week 4 is here. For this video and article, we're going to go through some of the news and notes from the sport. This will not cover everything. It's just impossible to have a total, knowledge of what's going on all the places in college football. But this will help us kind of see what's going on over kind of a large view of college football. So let's get started here. We have Travis Hunter out at least 3 weeks. A lot of people saw that hit that he took against Colorado State. It was kind of like a late hit on the sideline. It was announced to be out for about 3 weeks, according to Coach Dion, Coach Prime. Lacerated spleen, and Colorado plays Oregon. I don't know how that got deleted there. Colorado plays Oregon this week, and could be missing Travis Hunter. Now, the player that hit him is getting death threats. That's obviously should not be happening. Deanna said that's not what should be going on. They've forgiven him. They're moving on, as most people should be moving on at this point. Jalen Milroe has been named the starter against Alabama, the starter for Alabama again. This kind of sat out this last week against USF, and the offense struggled. Kind of looked like maybe he wasn't allowed to play, was suspended or something. They went with Tyler Buckner. They had Ty Simpson. Both of those guys didn't look that great, and then they go up against Ole Miss this week, so he better be ready to play. It's going to be a tough game. So Jalen Milroe is the starter. Nick Saban noted that he showed good leadership in Week 3 against USF, I guess, from the bench. But we'll see how that unfolds. I don't think that's a permanent thing whatsoever. Michigan State has given Mel Tucker notice of their intention to fire him. Now, this has been something covered over the last couple of weeks in these videos. They are trying to fire him for cause. This stems from a sexual harassment case. And according to Brett McMurphy, this is a decision that's been made earlier. Now, Mel Tucker is saying they have ulterior motives, that he had a consensual relationship with this woman. So it's going to get a little bit messy, but at least, Michigan State, for the time being, is saying they're going to have the intention of firing him. Nothing official quite yet, but we'll see what happens with Michigan State moving forward. LSU's Greg Brooks has had a brain tumor removed. This was last week. He had an emergency surgery to remove a brain tumor. Tumor is removed. They're waiting the biopsy to kind of see what's going on in the family. So definitely thinking about Greg Brooks and his family this week. He's a very good safety for them. LSU's team is going to take a hit, but also just making sure the person is okay is the most important thing there. So those are the big things. Here are some other things going on around college football this week. We have Georgia right tackle Amarius Mims is having a surgery to help a high ankle sprain. I believe this is a tightrope surgery. Kirby Smart did not give a timetable for his return. Now, this is, alarming for a couple of reasons. Georgia, I think, is really going to hurt from Amarius Mims being out, but he also was a very highly, rated draft prospect, and we needed to see more tape from him this year. So we'll see if he's able to come back in a couple of weeks and kind of get that tape out there. Very good player for Georgia. Florida Atlantic quarterback Casey Thompson is out for the season with a torn ACL. Now, people might remember he transferred from Texas to Nebraska, now to Florida Atlantic. He's, I believe, in his 5th or 6th year of eligibility, so don't think he'll be getting another one, which is unfortunate. FAU does have, I believe, Daniel Richardson on the roster. He used to start for Central Michigan, so he probably will be the starter moving forward. But I would check into that if you are in a college football fantasy league or something like that you need more knowledge on the situation. Nebraska running backs Gabe Ervin and Ramir Johnson are out for the season with injuries. Now, these are the 2 leading running backs. Nebraska has a lot of figuring themselves out to do anyway. This is going to make things extremely tough on them for the rest of the way. Army has agreed to a contract extension with Jeff Monken through the 2027 season. He's been the best coach Army's had in years. He's kind of very innovative with his offense. It's going to be interesting to see how Army moves forward. They're in talks right now for the AAC to be a football-only member. If that comes to fruition, can Army still be this team that, in the past, they've won like 10 games in the past couple of years, I think, one of the times. So very good to lock him up, because I do know that other schools were considering him for jobs in the past. Notre Dame will return linebacker J.D. Bertrand, safety D.J. Brown, and Mitchell Evans, tight end, all this week from injuries for Ohio State. Now, all these guys were starters. Notre Dame's been able to be undefeated, so they didn't really lose much. We'll see how they play in this game against Ohio State. It's going to be a very big game, and having these starters back will definitely help Notre Dame in their, upset bid. They're at home. They're a 3-point underdog. We'll see if they can get the job done and maybe make some noise in this college football season. Bowling Green linebacker Demetrius Hardman is in stable condition after being carted off against Michigan in Week 3. Always good to see that someone's in stable condition. It looks like he's going to be okay long term. Just bad hit, and that's what happens. So we'll see if he's able to return later in the season, but just mostly glad that he's okay. The SEC suspended several players for the fight during the Florida-Tennessee game during Week 3. You can get a full list of those guys if you go to the article and then click on the link. Iowa tight end Luke Lachey is out for the season after having right ankle surgery. He was a guy who was one of the better players on their offense and also was a NFL draft prospect, so that's kind of disappointing to see. And then the last thing, Dartmouth head coach Buddy Teevens has passed away after complications due to a March bicycle crash. So definitely thoughts with him as well, and his family as well. He was a really good coach who, everything I've read about him, he was trying to be innovative in terms of preventing injury, making the game safer. So definitely thinking about him this week as we go to Week 4. So if you think of any other news or notes that should be in the article, make sure to list them in the comments below. Which I try to update this article to give everyone a kind of a background of what's going on all the way through Saturday, and then once Saturday morning kicks off, we kind of sit back and enjoy the games, having all the knowledge go on. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.